Coming up in this Peugeot episode.
Toshuk is like login. Have you guys heard about the story of a Mexican fisherman?
It looked like one of those Apple events, launch events. It looked
So could you explain a little bit about how the process of all this came about? Because we see the end results, but from a computer science engineer, I know that this must have been really difficult to do.
What would you do if you have $1 million?
Because you always want to do this. Even let's say if you pick a corporate job and you make a lot of money, you're always going to come back and do the same thing you're doing right now.
How do you see them using Monalm Ai, and how can they use Monalm Ai productively?
Welcome to Bodja Podcast.
So, Kaldan, thank you so much for joining the Peugeot podcast. Welcome.
Okay, thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. You did an amazing job during the Monalm Manifest event. How much preparation did go into that event?
We have decided to do the Monalm Manifest in November, I think in September. September or August or something like that, end of the August. And all of the team came to Dharamsala by October so that we can get ready with the presentation and the web app that we have been planning to build. And again, we need to look out for the whole venue preparation and all the logistics that we need to get ready with for the fest in Tipa. So we had to come 1 month earlier, and it was so initially it was I think Geshila and many of my teammates have anticipated some sort of normal function happening in a Dharamsala.
Yeah.
But most of my team, especially in the tech team, they were not into it. They wanted more, technical thing. So so we come up with the middle ground, and so that's it. I think to be honest, it take half month to get ready all the thing, and get ready with the presentation and get everyone on board. Yeah.
It looked like one of those Apple events, launch events. It looked exactly like that.
We tried to do it like that. We were this is the first tech what should I say launch happening in Tibetan community. I think it's first, one of the first, or I think it's the first. So I told Geshila, me and especially my tech team, we insisted him to make it more like those event. So even I think you might have noticed that we have an intro video. Which briefly tell about the timeline of the Monlam IT Research Center, and then where are we and where are we planning to take the Tibetan community and the Tibetan language in future, Yeah, it was some sort of I think we had somewhere around 200 to 250.
Wow.
I'm not exactly sure, because we have invited around 400 people.
Wow.
So we have invited civil servant from the CTA, and we have all those educational institute located nearby in the Dharamsala. And then we have invited those people who have been contributing to our language. And from people Geta Siring La, Nagasanga La, and many more.
All the VIPs
And
came.
then we have invited, yeah, obviously, they are on the, yeah, all the funders, CTA executives, and then we have yeah, officials. Yeah, I I think we should have get some space for like general public, but we didn't do it this time because like we were not sure whether we will be able to accommodate this much crowd. Yeah, so yeah, I think we played it a little bit safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, next time I think we will definitely plan something different.
Next time Persia will come to. I'm just kidding.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I think in the month of October and November, Dharamsala is pretty, happening.
Mm.
Like lots of fairs are happening, and then lots of conferences. Yeah, I think that was a good time that we have chosen because like many people were coming for the another conference called Future of Tibet.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that's like and at that time also Dharamsala has a very pleasant weather also, unlike the disturbing monsoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Kaldan, so we know Monlam Ai and we hear Geshe-la talk, right? For people who don't know you, can you give a little talk
Mhm, mhm.
talk about who are you, what role do you play in Monlam Ai?
Okay. You mean like
Your
from the
journey to
start or like
Monlam Ai, yeah.
okay. Yeah. So I was born in Ladakh and I did my primary schooling in Ladakh, TCV Ladakh. And then after fifth grade, I got selected in TCV Selekwi. I went to TCV Selekwi from sixth grade to 12th grade. I studied there. And after finishing my schooling, I have computer in my um in my curriculum. And after that, I joined Christ University in Bangalore, and I pursued my bachelor Buddhist. Um, Unlike most of the PT, which is like more theoretical in nature. And after that, I pursued computer science at same university. During my bachelor, I uh, uh, you guys heard it. There is a startup called there used to be a startup called Touch On. Have you heard of it? Touch On Tech.
Touch on, what is it?
Like by Yang Tao But Office like Touch On
Oh,
like
Tajumba. Oh,
yeah,
what does it do?
yeah, Touch On. They have made very they were trying to digitize Tibetan associations and business like they were trying to help Tibetan organizations and Tibetan entrepreneurs to bring their business and bring their organization to of them were they have made an app for Kala Chakra, and then they have made an app for GCM, which was a pretty good app and pretty good initiative. But I think um, they were not able to follow up due to some reasons. But it was a very good app, and after that they have opted for multiple projects. But during my bachelor days, the founder of Tachomba were my seniors. Like in college, they were my seniors. So yeah, I think I have to give credit to them for um, making me feel like we can do something for our community through tech, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I used to do internship over there. Yeah, and I have learned so many things from them. Because like when we were in college doesn't
Yeah.
teach you like I don't know about in US, but in India, like colleges doesn't teach you like how what you need to get ready when you are in industry, you know. So GitHub and simple basic things are
Mm-hmm.
not taught in colleges at all. So you have to learn it by yourself with your peers, or either you pursue some sort of like internship in a corporate or some sort of like startup so that you can gain such experience. And yeah, so I got those, industry uh, exposure from, I think I got it from them at
Mm-hmm.
my, uh, they were the person who got, who introduced me about those things. And yeah, from that, and after that, I continued with the company, and I pursued my master. And during my masters, we had to write a research paper, and I have at that time I have chosen like initially I thought to choose like Tibetan OCR, uh,
Mm.
at, and at that time also, you know, computer vision used to be a big thing, you know, like self-driving car and all those things.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought maybe I should try Tibetan OCR, you know. Then I read,
Can you explain what OCR is to our audience?
yeah,
Or what it
OCR is
does?
like,
Yeah.
yeah, optical, OCR means optical character recognition, and what it actually does is like if you have Tibetan text written in an image, it will recognize the text and convert it into a digital text.
So cool.
So yeah, so I thought I will give it a shot, and I went through some research paper, and I came to know that, you know, you need to have a plenty of training data,
Yeah.
and yeah, so labeling those data is not possible at all. So I opted for handwritten numeral recognition. I think Tashi might know, like
Yeah.
this is like one of the basic thing that you learn in machine learning. When you get started with machine learning, yeah, you know, they used to give certain such tasks. It's basically Lode, I will explain you, like it's only number only. Optical character recognition is like the whole language, but
Mm.
numerical recognition is number only. So
Mm.
they have used this kind of machine learning model for US post things in order to um, what should I say, like segregate the mails to different pin code area. And yeah, so initially it was used in multiple thing. Yeah, so I thought, yeah, maybe I will try that one. And I wrote a paper, and yeah, so uh, I didn't, you know, like made a new state of art or something like that, but I prepared the data set, and then I use existing state of art and then train the model. So yeah, after that, one of my friend, his name is Tenzin. He was working with my current boss, who is his name is Chile. Uh, he was working with him on a project called Open. So yeah, so that was like he was like yeah, and I asked him like, what are you guys actually doing, you know? And my initial plan was like maybe, you know, try to work in a Tibetan maybe like a TCRC or some sort like that for like few 1 year or some sort of that, or maybe I'll try in corporate for 1 year, and then I will pursue my further study. That was my initial plan. And yeah, but so I got in touch with my friend Tenzin, and he was like, I asked him whether they offer an internship or something like that, because like we have 1 semester is full internship for us in the master curriculum. So I had to pursue one internship, and most of the placement which comes in my campus, they have, set bond that you need to sign, you know, you have to commit it to the company for like 1 to 2 year or something like that. And I don't want to do that. And and another reason is like, yeah, I got introduced to the project through him, and I got interested, and I reached out to them, and like they said you can join anytime, and I went to Dharamsala. He was actually working from remote back then also, and I stayed with him in his room, and start my internship over there, and then gradually I finished after finishing my masters. I joined their full time. So I think in order to explain the Open Pager project, I think it deserves another podcast. I will leave it there.
Right.
Yeah. So we were working with the Open Pager project, and after Open Pager project, yeah, we have been working for Open Pager project for like last 3 years from myself, and after that, my boss and Geshe Monalm like got they met in Prague, Czech Republic, at a conference, and they know each other from like way back. So yeah, so they got together, and they were like, let's do something big, and um,
What
my
year was
boss
this?
proposed. It was 2021, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
It was International Association for Tibet Studies conference, which happened in Prague. I'm not sure which year exactly. It was
Yep.
after COVID. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they got together, and yeah, so they planned out the whole Monlam AI project thing. And yeah, then we collaborated with Geshe Monalm, and I think we had a very successful 1 year completion with the launch. And yeah,
Right.
my whole team is, yeah, then I think our team gradually grows. Few of my classmates also joined the team. Yeah, so we were because like we have a very I have a very small friend circle. That's like, so we were not able to hire that much. We just hired
Yeah.
using our own network, and able to group some people. Yeah, yeah, hiring people is a little bit challenging for us, because like it's a very niche thing. You need to know how to to know how to program. Then you need to have little bit um, motivation towards preserving the language, or uh, like, if we prefer someone who has uh, interest in preserving the language and the Buddhism. Yeah, it was a little bit tough, but yeah, we have a small team as of now, and here we are.
Yeah. What?
And as of now, I'm working as a uh, tech lead or tech manager or something like that.
Mhm.
We usually don't give any label to
Yeah.
within our yeah company. It's a very small thing, so like we
Kaldan,
don't. Yeah.
Kaldan, you, your friends, you who have programming skills, has knowledge about, machine learning and AI. Like corporate world,
Hmm.
you guys would have made a lot of money, yeah. You guys could have provided
Hmm.
very well for your family, for yourself. But
Hmm.
what's the motivation to work for a minimum AI, which I'm sure doesn't pay as well or nearly as well as anywhere like corporate does?
Yeah, but so I think my boss, he has realized this thing very early, because he have been working with it from 2010. He's actually French, but he's fluent in Tibetan, and he's fluent in Tibetan language, and the Pygrigne Dindulat Koran Yaltaju.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I think he have noticed this in our community. Are under some of the professionals, who walk within our community. That's how we lose people. You know?
Mhm.
So what he did is like when he matched the salary that I was getting paid in, but we don't have that, what should I say, like very aggressive raise, which you find in corporate world, like
Mhm.
more you
Yeah.
do, more you will, you will get the raise and all those things. We don't have that system as of now, but we are, Geshila and my boss, they have paid us very generous, I would say. But again, I would 100% agree. Like most of my team members, I, I can't speak of myself because, like, yeah, I don't know how much I will get paid in the market, but I'm pretty sure that we have team members who will definitely get paid more than what they are getting paid here. But yeah, so the question is like, what motivates us to, stick here, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, so I can't speak on behalf of them, but for personally, I will answer this. Have you guys heard about the story of a Mexican fisherman?
No.
No.
Okay, yeah, it's a very I've seen it in a podcast, and I find it very relatable to me. So once there was a Mexican fisherman. What he used to do is like he used to fish for like half an hour or something like that, and then he will go and he will take he will play with his children, then he will have his lunch, and then he will have a siesta, and after that evening he will go to the town hall and he will drink with his amigos and all those things. And but one day he met an American, and he was like, how much do you fish within a day? And it was like this much. And like, I think you should more, like, fish longer so that you can buy more boat. And then he said, why would I do that? And if you have more boat, you can fish more, and then you can start a company. And then then what will happen? Like, if I have a fish company, then what will happen? And then he said, like, you can export your fish to New York and Miami and all those places, and you can get very rich. Yeah, then what will I happen if I get rich? He was like, then you can uh, go to a quiet Mexican fishing village where you can fish for half an hour, and then you can spend time with your children, and then he's thinking. I was like, I think, yeah, maybe like working in corporate, or moving abroad, and working in corporate and earning like mm, um, as much as I can, and then working towards my dream project, which is again related to Tibetan language technology.
Mhm.
Am I, so why would I do that? If when the opportunity is at my door.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
that's yeah, my yeah, what should I say, motivation, or the reason, or the yeah. And another
Because you
reason is
want,
like,
yeah,
yeah.
because you always want to do this. Even let's say if you pick the corporate job and you make a lot of money, you're always
Mhm.
gonna come back and do the same thing you're doing right now, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
So one day my boss actually asked my team that, what would you do if you have $1 million? You know.
Mhm.
So we were saying like, we will invest and all those things, and it was like, uh, okay, I'll change the amount. He was like, I will change the amount. Let's say you don't need to worry about money at all. Then what would you do?
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, this you need to answer this question to yourself. What would you do
Mm.
if you don't need to work for money?
Mm.
Then probably I think you will end up doing something that you really like, or else like you will get bored. And
Mm.
yeah, I think, yeah. So I again, you would ask like, why I could do anything, why Tibetan language technology? And for that, I personally see I see huge potential in Tibetan culture and Tibetan Buddhism. So I have been asking, I think, let me ask you guys a question maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like we have been, saying that international community should support Tibet and whatnot, And my question is, like, there has been many civilization in the earth, which has, thrived on earth, So, and many civilization has vanished also. There is no trace, but still we are living, And my question is like, why do you think Tibetan civilization needs to survive, and why do you think like it? Yeah, why do you think it needs to survive? Like we can assimilate with anyone and get rid of our past,
I think for me, it's two things. Yeah. 당부디 첩시강아. 그래. On the political side, even the political side, there's two things. Number one, 동일이 세. There's currently 6 million Tibetans in Tibet are, struggling and suffering, right? 동일이
Yeah.
세. Number two, 땅 곤소 동일이 세 투나 점르나
Yes.
그랬던 거를. It's like a
Mhm.
will be in the history book, right? When other people 배신한 거죠. 그래, 경우지 마트마 간디다 진짜로 슈 그래 ngakjudo do ngakju tig
Mhm.
dira.
Right, right, right.
Like one day Tibet could be an inspiration for another civilization that is pushed down or any sort of injustice, right? Oh, Tibet did it in a non-violent way. We can do it too,
Mhm.
right? So it's symbolic as well. On the second side, as Geshe Monlam has said, and of course Gyalo Rinpoche, right? It's the best language and the most effective and efficient language to study Buddhism. Now the question comes, why study Buddhism? Because Buddhism is a way to create more peaceful and happier society, right? It teaches you the skill. It's easy to say, oh, be happier, right? But then we know when we go in our everyday lives, being happy is so hard. It's a lot of skill and a lot of practice, right? And Buddhism teaches you all of that, right? And Buddhism teaches you in a way that's most effective and efficient.
Mhm.
Now, I think that's why we have like the vocabulary. I think Geshe Milam said we have for like for mind, we have like all these different words, probably hundreds of words just to describe different ways to describe the mind, right? And in English, it's like maybe two or three, maybe mind, soul, and maybe a few others, right?
Yeah.
So that intense vocabulary, I think, makes a big difference.
Yeah. Tashi, what do you think?
Why Tibetan civilization needs to survive?
Yeah.
I think my main thing is in terms of like Tibetan language. I think that's the most important thing that needs to survive. One of the most important things, just because, yeah, kind of like what Sirp says, it's the language for Tibetan Buddhism. There are so many Buddhisms in the world, and Tibetan Buddhism is very unique, and it's been studied and practiced for thousands of years. And it's like the gateway for all this knowledge is the middleman is Tibetan Buddhism or Tibetan language.
Yeah.
And so if we can preserve the Tibetan language in the future allows anyone who wants to really study Buddhism to be able to do it. But if Tibetan language gets lost, then a lot of the Tibetan Buddhism gets lost as well.
100%.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I've been asking this question to like many students. Like I've asked this question to Tenzin I've asked this question to few of my friends also, and everyone answers the same because like we have Tibetan Buddhism, which will definitely act as a antidote for this,
Yeah.
what should I say, like capitalistic world or something like that. Yeah, so mit 정말 이거 나랑 like the 낭쉐들이시라. So yeah, I feel the same thing, Yeah, that's
Tashi,
like
Tashi,
another.
yeah, 송다, Kaldan.
Yeah. So another, I think like um for mm, I think for my team, I think we are a little bit aggressive towards the towards the Tibetan Buddhism. It's like we have been saying like we need to preserve the language and preserve the culture and preserve the Tibetan Buddhism and all those things. But we are a little bit more aggressive. We are like we need to spread the Tibetan Buddhism and Tibetan language.
That's
I
a
think
big difference.
yeah, if we are spreading the culture and the idea and the language, it automatically gets preserved,
Oh,
Right.
because
I
like if you keep on saying preserve, preserve, then it won't go to us. It won't evolve also, and it won't be, subscribed by the younger generation and all those things. I think that's the mindset that we need to have, especially our generation. Yeah, and I'm really grateful that my team is in such passion.
I love that mindset. Instead of preservation, it's about spreading the knowledge, like
Yeah,
scaling, right?
scaling, spreading the idea, make it more available, make it more even if you have to adapt something, adapt, don't stick on the when you say preservation, then we end up sticking to the old thing, and then it ends up very difficult to understand also, like because like uh, if you try to explain certain concept using a old text, they will use a old example, they will use an example which can be found in a very ancient Indian thing, like Shingda Khorlo and all those things, and you won't be able to relate the Shingda Khorlo. You need some sort of like Ferrari or some sort of like that so that you can relate,
Yeah.
Yeah, so when we end up preserving, we don't do the adaptation part, which will be more easier to subscribe by the 10 generation or yeah, I think.
I think that's what makes C learning so good, social emotional ethics learning. The books
Mhm.
are and the examples are adapted to the children. It's like this animal does that. It's not like kawa jorang. It's like
Mhm.
things that they would see in their everyday lives, like phone, and those are the type of examples that C learning uses in their curriculum. So yeah, making it relevant for the user is so important as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Because like if I give you an example, we have been reading Sherab Nyingbo for like many years, like we used to read every morning when we were in school, you guys know Sherab Nyingbo, right? Heart Sutra.
Yeah.
But like what so if you look to the Sherab Nyingbo or Heart Sutra, it's very if I say it's very simple, I will get scolded. I wouldn't say that. I think it's pretty, it's not that, complex, It was like a story which is told, It's like one day when we were sitting in, Vulture Peak, and Buddha was there, Cherisi was there, Sheripu was there, and Sheripu asked question, what is, Tongbanyi to Cherisi? And then Cherisi answered, and then Cherisi answered all the, uh, details about Tongbanyi, Sumeta, Mitime, and all those things. And then at the end, Buddha concluded that yes, what Cherisi said is like true, So so basically we are reading that story again and again so that someday we might get this question that, okay, what are they really trying to say in this story, I think those prayers are supposed to trigger you to question such things, but
Right.
we end up that's the problem when we say preservation part, then it becomes more like a ritual rather than
Mm.
Yeah.
studying.
I think the shift in mindset is so important. It makes you think about ways you can, you know, spread Tibetan language, as you said. Now, diving, sorry, diving a little deeper into like Monlam Ai's text parts. Some of the questions I have is being a computer science major. I took one intro to AI class, and like you were saying, the number recognition to basically there's 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like single digits, right?
Yeah.
For the computer to just to recognize those digits, you have to train the model, and to train the model, you need tens and thousands of images just to get the accuracy of the machine learning itself and saying, okay, that 2 that someone drew, like I can draw a 2 that looks like a 2 for the machine to say that. Now, when I did that little, when I did that little project, because the grade distribution was little, it was so hard. Like trying to understand the code was probably, that class was the most difficult class I took, just because I felt like I was a headless chicken trying to figure out what is going on. When I read up a little bit on Monlam Ai, it's built on like natural language processing. So it's scaling from single digits to now text, right? Letters, English letters, but now Tibetan letters. So could you explain a little bit about like how the process of all this came about? Because we see the end results, but from a computer science, I know that this must have been really difficult to do. And like who was involved, how many developers?
So to start with machine translation, which is like one of the I think everybody's favorite is the machine translation thing. The machine translation part, we have collaborated with UC Berkeley. There's a project headed by Dr. Kurt. It is called Dharma Mitra. And so Dr. Kurt and his research associate, Sebastian, they were training our machine translation model. And we used to give them training data, our tech team is like more into cleaning the data on bulk, on then preparing the data for annotator to annotate. In case of machine translation, I think because we need to prepare sentence pair of English and Tibetan, so we definitely we have automated as much as we can, but at the end of the day it needs to review by human. So all the review is done by our human annotator teams. So without them, I guess even if we have Dr. Kurt and his research associate and it won't be possible, so
how many people review it?
In our machine translation team, we probably have 60 to 70 people doing
full-time?
So part-time. So what we have done is like Tashi, if I explain you, like we haven't try to mine each sentence pair. What we have done is like we have checked existing translation books. So if you find one book, you will get millions of pairs, like not millions, like thousands of pairs. Because one book will definitely contain 1,000 sentences or something like that. You will get
pairs
in
of
bulk.
English and Tibetan. Is that okay?
Yeah, existing translation books. What we have done is like we have scrapped as many existing translation book as possible, both which has been translated from English to Tibetan and Tibetan to English. So we collected those books and we cleaned them, removing all the table of content and all those indexes and those things. We kept the main part. Then we run an aligner, automated aligner, which will do some vector comparison. What we do is like we convert all the sentences into a vector, and then those vectors get compared with Tibetan sentence vector, and then they got aligned. This is like rough alignment. Once we get that rough alignment, we will give it to our manual annotator who will review the alignment. If there is some misalignment, sometimes our aligner gives some gibberish thing, they will delete those things. And after that, we give it to Sebastian, and he will be training the model.
Training it.
This this is what we have done. And since most of the existing translation are only focusing on the Tibetan Buddhism thing, Buddhism literature,
Mhm.
you can see the bias in our model. Tibet. If you give
Right.
something little bit similar to Tibetan classical Tibetan texts, which you can find in Tibetan, most of the Tibetan Buddhism literature, it translates perfectly. But yeah, we have also
Right.
we have also scraped some news articles which has been translated by news outlets in exile. We have given them we have given data also for the machine translation. So yeah, as of now, our model is not able to translate other knowledge like economics, finance, science, you know mathematics, and all those things. Sports, it, it doesn't has that
Right.
vocabulary. Yeah, I
Right.
think you can understand. And regarding OCR, we have another collaboration with a researcher at Hamburg University. His name is Eric. Yeah, we again, it's the same. Like we prepare all the training datas and then we give it to him. Yeah, so for OCR we have prepared like in-house annotation tools, because like we have used some existing annotation tools, but they were not like up to our expectations. So when we have any bug, when we report them, they are not prioritizing our bugs. So we left that annotation tool and we built our in-house annotation tools, and then our annotators are annotating using our in-house tools. And if I talk about the speech to text and text to speech,
Mhm.
it's trained by our team on all, like it's like in-house developer has been training. So our STD model has been trained by Sonam Pinzok. We call him SP, and our text to speech is trained by Geche. Basically, they both work together, and they have trained both STD and speech to text and text to speech. They have
What
trained. So yeah, speech to text is like from bootstrap, like it's from
Right.
everything, like training through data collection, and everything is done within the Monlam Ai.
Mhm.
Those
So
two components.
what is that process like for them to develop the speech to text and text to speech? Is that the same thing? Is there a bias in that model as well? Where if you talk more like 낭추 or like 최기 찍는 표시당나 야 고야도직, it translates better if you use like Buddhist words, or is it like if I talk about sports or and stuff like that, will it still translate pretty well?
The speech to text dona dira so like when we said something, it get transcribed, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So for that, like we have very diverse data set. I'm pretty sure it doesn't have that bias toward a specific thing, because like we have collected data from Tibetan teachings which were given by His Holiness and many other lamas, and then we have a data set from collected from children's speech, po kya jashe jo dinera. And then we have natural speech, like normal conversation that we used to have, and then we have like this one also, like podcast. We consider it in natural speech, so we are transcribing podcasts also. And then we have movie and TV programs which you can find in Tibet and in exile also. So we scraped many we downloaded many movie from YouTube and converted to audio file, and then segment the audio, then let our annotator annotate, transcribe them, yeah. And then we have also and transcribed. We have prepared data from audiobook also. because like it was way faster, audiobook was way
Yeah.
easier to prepare the training data, because like we have already transcribed, like it has the e-text version of that particular, because like somebody's reading the book, right? So you can find the book's digital text, and then you just merge it with the audio, and then just review it.
Kaldan, now that I'm thinking, I
Mm.
think Kinzumla, I learned English with Kinzumla. She did a great demo, right? On I don't know if you saw
Yeah,
it.
I've
Yeah,
seen it. I've seen it.
yeah,
Yeah.
her demo is really good.
Uh,
But I think this is the only Monlam AI interview that's in English, I think, from what I've seen. Is that
This
true
is,
or
That
yeah.
might
This is
be.
this is this is
this
yeah.
is the only? So I was wondering
This
if you
is
could give us a 3-minute demo. Could you give us like a 3-minute demo in English if that's possible? Because our users, when
okay.
Kinzumla explains it, obviously it's very well. When Geshe-la
Mhm.
explains it, when you guys explain it, but then it's like very hard to right? So they might not understand for our young users.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let me share my. Okay.
I think you have to give me you can share your screen.
Share permission.
I just changed it. The sharing.
Okay, okay. I can share my screen.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
can you walk us through in
so
English? Yeah.
yeah, sure. So we have prepared the whole web app in Tibetan so that it will it was like the motivation was to enforce people to get comfortable with Tibetan. It was not because I got a lot of complaint from many people saying like
Should be in
why
English.
it is not in English, but
Wait, got.
we
Oh,
are
there's
planning to
English.
localize it. It's not complete yet. They have just added the button. So Toshuk is like login.
Mhm.
So when you click on here, you can log in using your Google account. So I will select this one. So over here, you can see 4 cards through which you can access our 4 model. The first one is the translation. So if you like say, how are you? It get translated, Kerang Devuinam. So in order to change the language direction, you can press this button. It will, so
Who developed the website for this?
this is developed by our team. Like we have
Wow.
2 main team in our 2 like main sub team in our tech team. So
Yeah.
one is like model team, which handles the data cleaning and the model training part. And another is the application team, which handles the building of this web app, as well as like all the in-house web app annotation tools that we have built.
Yeah, it's built really
Yeah,
well.
so yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. We are yeah, so it's giving the name incorrect.
So so can you explain it here, Kaldan? Why would it give the name incorrect here?
So it might be because like Kaldan is a very new name in Tibetan, I would say, literature.
Mm,
You won't find many Kaldan in ancient Tibetan texts. I think
mm,
that might be issue. So yeah, it's something Sagatakal Lakal. Kesang is Kesang is very like a common name that has been used in our history. So yeah,
mm.
there
So
it might be
so
something like
after the
that.
language, after the model says sees kal, right? Sakatakala gel, right?
Hmm.
Then it's just
Hmm.
guessing, oh, it's gel sang. Is that what's
Yeah,
happening? Okay.
yeah, something like that. Then let me. Okay, do you want to see something like real life other than that one?
Yep.
Tibetan
And also,
times or
sort of,
something
it's
like
showing Gelsong Buddhist literature is because the data is primarily from Buddhist texts that I
that.
think Kaldan was saying earlier.
Got it.
So that's where some of the, when they say bias, that's what one a good example of it. I'm guessing, right, Kaldan?
Yeah. Okay, let's look into something simple.
Yeah, see, like us, like I wouldn't be able to read this, or it would take me like 20 minutes just to read like 2 sentences here. Yeah. So this is useful. Let's see what happens.
Okay. Kongi pinche dorje cedor la sane nyedo kangdu ting shila chi ne keja ti yo kyang jana nyedo cho ne len kang ya te me kor che chung la da. Okay, let's select this one. Okay, so it's like she said that her brother, Siring Doma, currently it's translating the names very badly. Siring Doma that have gone to local police for 4 times, but had received no response from Chinese police, which is exactly what it says, except for the name.
Can we put
Kome
that?
Pinche Sedola Sane Nyedokang, it's like local police. Pengshi 4 times. Keja Ti Yang Sra. Gyana Nyento Chone Len Kang Teme Korche Dusra. Chejung Lada. So didn't receive any response from Chinese police.
Can we compare this? Can we put that into Microsoft Bing and see
Yeah.
like the difference of how much better Monalm AI is?
Tibetan.
Because Microsoft Bing is currently the only other that translates Tibetan, right?
Tibetan, yeah.
Mm.
Her relative Chai went to ask local police for 4 times asking question, but Hanzhong police did not give any response. Yeah, so
Got it.
it's like this.
No,
So
much
Bing,
better. Yeah.
yeah, Bing usually translates this kind of thing very good, but when you give some sort of like, some sort of like this, then it will not perform.
Oh, like 选对当 like 囊穴기 in the
Yeah. This is they are translating it a little bit okay, but sometimes it gives you very bad response. Back when we started this project, it is translating Chanju Semba into pizza. Yeah, yeah. So, but I think they have trained the model again. It's getting better.
But there's still a lot of Chinese words in there too, like
Mhm.
当真过, like
Yeah.
those are I feel like Chinese
So
words.
yeah, you can see that when you translate English from Tibetan, let's say the Chinese government has, Zhongguo Xishun, you can see that it doesn't use the Yanashung. It used the
Right.
CCP vocabulary, which is like Zhongguo Xishu and all those things.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's the bias in theirs.
Yeah,
That's
that's the
scary.
bias.
我
So
做的 minimum AI 听那可以提个，给那胸让提的。
Yanashung Rantir. And the Chinese government, Jana going to Janashung, it's,
Yeah,
you can see the
okay.
difference.
Yep.
Yeah. So our data is more like um like our own narrative, not like it is based on our own, language and own
Right.
culture and own literature, not on, because like I think Bing is trained on uh, many documents that have been prepared in, local newspaper in, Tibet, so they have this kind of words, and maybe they have used many, communication documents used by CCP.
That's
Yeah.
very dangerous.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So if I show you the document review is like uh, it's like lawyer.
Mhm.
So if you type something, some sort of like this one, this if it if you send something like this,
We can't hear the audio right now, but
you
is it
can't hear that,
accurate?
right?
Yeah.
It's pretty accurate.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. I think I need to plug out my speaker for that. Hello, who there?
Udon.
人啊，言不錯嘢，贏下人正嘢過注重。
Yeah. Did you hear the audio?
Yep,
Yeah.
we could hear it.
Yeah.
So the training
So-
for this, you said it's
Yeah.
like you're doing a lot of videos, audio, His Holiness's speeches, and you were training the model on hearing those words, and then the team was writing it by hand. Was that what's going on there?
The training data for text to speech, they use it. They use the same training data that we have
Training data.
prepared for the speech to text,
Okay.
because you need a audio and a text, pair. So
And you guys paired it manually by like
so yeah,
translating yourself?
we have annotated for that also, but so what we did is like initially we used to transcribe the audio from scratch.
Whoa.
But gradually, when we trained our model, what we did is like we ran our model with the like audio which hasn't been transcribed to
Right.
get a rough transcription from our model, and then we used to give those transcription to our annotator in to correct the transcription.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that's what I
that
was most curious about.
yeah, that made a little bit faster.
Yeah.
Because you just need to check the few part of the sentence, and then you can go to the next audio, listen to it. But children's speech is a little bit challenging because like they end up saying random thing. As of now, speech to speech are in Central Tibetan dialect.
Mm.
Yeah, but not, I would say not exactly Central Tibetan. It's like more or less like the common common language that we are using as of now, like
Right.
the Tenzin Kaldan.
Mhm.
But Kora Central Tibetan real another, you need to have that Lhasa accent and all those things, but we don't have that many data of so, but yeah,
Mm.
this year we are planning to train Amdo and Kamye.
Maybe this is a good gateway. So like, what is Monlam Ai focusing on now, and what will it focus in the future? So I'm guessing you said one is the dialect, and then the other is more training. Is those the main priorities?
Yeah. As of now, we are focusing into like collecting more training data, because like if you have the data, like training the model is like pretty like so you just need you just need a good compute resource, and you need few tech team, but collecting the training data, it's a very I see it very tough time. I see it very good timing for us if we do it now,
Yeah.
because like many Tibetans are living abroad, so once they leave abroad, we can't pay the salary of some Western countries for annotating our training data.
Mm.
We won't be able to pay
Right.
in dollar to annotate data. So yeah, it will be very expensive.
What
Yeah,
does annotating the data look like? What does that mean?
annotating the data as in like in case of machine translation, you have to um, see whether a pair is correct or not.
Mhm.
Okay. And in case of speech to text, you need to see whether the transcription of that particular audio is correct or not. Like you need to listen to our audio and check the transcription whether it is correct or not. Like
I see.
let's say the audio says "Nga phelo doya yi," then if the transcription is incorrect, you need to correct them. And in
Mm.
case of OCR, it's the same. You will be shown an image, line image, then you need to transcribe it.
I see. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Mm.
So if I show you this one, like let's say, 단답하지 뒤에 기억하여.
So for our listeners, he just put that audio in and it's transcribing it into Tibetan for him.
Tibetan, yeah. 단답하지 뒤에 가와케 가와여.
Mm.
Can you see? It's like yong, ta and nga is sometimes,
Mm.
I think it's making the mistake. But again, yeah, for the viewers, I think if you are satisfied with our transcription or translation, you can, click on the like button.
Mhm.
If you are not satisfied, you can click on the dislike button so that we can, get some idea, which,
Mm.
because like whatever you are translating or whatever you are speaking here, we are collecting those data in order to improve the model.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we will be cleaning those data again, and then we will be retraining the thing.
Mm.
Yeah. So as of now, we don't have this feature, but in future we are planning to, have an option where you can upload a whole audio file and then get a transcription in a Word document or a text file or something like that.
Mm.
Yeah.
So how do you see, okay, just to
Should I
just to
stop sharing the screen? Is it
yep. And OCR, there's also OCR, but since we don't have
OCR? Yeah.
we don't have a camera or anything, we can't show OCR or
Yeah.
do the demo.
Yeah. Plus OCR is as of now a little bit, we haven't made it public.
Oh, I see. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
We
Got
are
it.
planning to make it available for public as soon as possible.
Okay. So right now, Monalm AI is there's a 3-year plan, right? Is that
Mhm.
correct? Right now
Yep.
we're completing year 1.
Mhm.
And what's for year 2 and 3, like Dashi asked?
Mhm. So for year two we are planning to, diversify our training data to make the model more robust. So in case of machine translation, we are planning to include more training data from, the tingdugi shirigin yora penashana finance to the any sports to the yora tindegi data kangmama lunira so that it can translate anything from those domain. And in case of speech to text, we are planning to include different dialects. But I think Kamki and Amki will take more than second year. It will go to the third year also. Yeah, and regarding OCR, we are planning to move to different writing styles. Currently, we have our model can recognize only Uchin writing style. Now we are planning to move to like different Ume writing styles like Tuza, Tsungmakyu, Kyugi, all those things.
Got it.
Yeah. So yeah, those 3 years we are planning for like a more like second year definitely data, and third year if we feel our models are confident, then maybe we will try to materialize it into something more usable applications, or
Mm,
else like we are invested more into collecting data and training the model and
mhm,
improving it.
mhm,
Because like once you have the model, we are ready to give it to any Tibetan developer who are interested in making application on top of those model,
That's what I was
Yeah,
gonna ask. Like those APIs and like
yeah,
plugins, like
100%.
can RFA or VOA use
Mhm,
like one day use Monlam AI to transcribe all their videos and put English
mhm.
subtitle in? They can do that. That's something.
That's definitely possible. That's what we are also, planning to do in future.
Mm,
But yeah, we are we are definitely planning to reach out to all the media outlets in exile community.
mm.
Yeah.
So that's the
No,
3 year plan. So what's the 5, 10 year plan? What's the vision for Monalm Ai? What can be the use
mhm.
cases for the future?
Okay.
Yeah. What do you think?
So yeah, I think like with this kind of model, you can build you know lot of solution. If I say something very obvious, you can make a very good language education app. You know, you can because like language education app. If you look at Duolingo or some sort like that, you can see, you can speak to the app and then it will verify whether you have speak the correct sentence or not.
Hmm.
Everything is like they have a speech to text behind it.
Hmm.
So if with speech to text, you can make a very good language education app, which because like you need in order to get in order to become a fluent in a language, you need I've seen a study saying like you need at least 2,000 hours of speaking to
Wow.
speaking practice of that particular language.
Hmm.
So if you are planning to hire a human to speak with you, yeah, so it will be very costly, because like let's say you pay $100 for a person to speak with you for 1 hour in India. Okay,
Yeah.
so you can do the math. 2,000 into 10, it will be 20,000.
Hmm.
So you will be paying
Yeah.
20,000 US dollar to get fluent Tibet to become a fluent in Tibetan language. Like this is one scenario. So we can you know automate it. We can keep a digital avatar behind it, which will listen to what you are saying and which will generate a response using the text to speech.
Hmm.
Yeah, we can make such things. And then yeah, so other than that, um uh, machine translation, it has very, I think it you can generate lots of material using the machine translation. You can translate different like a very simple thing. You can translate manga, anime, like
Anime.
Naruto and all those things anime into Tibetan, and then
Tibetan.
print it and sell it. You can do that. Or you can host it in a web app or something like. I think yeah, we can do different things. That's what I'm trying to say. Like we should have that mindset of spreading the culture and the language,
Mm.
because when we have that kind of mindset, I think it like you can do a lot of things with those models.
근데 지워지길래 싫어.
Mm.
So if there is a model like this, let's say there's not a minimum AI model, there's another model
Uh-huh.
that translates Sanskrit to English,
Uh-huh.
right?
Uh-huh.
Is there a need for Tibetan then?
uh Sanskrit to Tibetan, then is there a need?
Sanskrit to
Uh-huh.
English chasa.
Uh-huh.
Kasi nganzo
Uh-huh.
tanda the nganzo ki di CGD nganzo ki mo lo zawa
Nangshe.
nangshu
Uh-huh.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
Translated
yeah,
stuff from Sanskrit
yeah,
to Tibetan, right? But now they
yeah,
can get it
yeah,
from the source, right? Pali inare,
yeah,
Sanskrit inare,
mm,
right? If they translate that into
yeah.
English, is there a need for
But
Tibetan?
but unfortunately, like you won't find nye diang di kalor ta kama jasha jo din de mendara Tibetan Buddhism la yora Buddhism mangbu chuyore de Tibetan Buddhism nashing literature yora yomarda
Mm.
kajinana we have ngazuki thangbo khachela ngazu loza de khachela na Sanskrit di phila yura
Mm.
di gyurgyo jora di gyurgyo digala yora lama chigi yora the commentary jiktiyor dara di commentary digala commentary theory ya
Mm.
Wasn't it like this it's like yeah the yoyu chukbura like BD I don't know whether you guys know about BDRC Buddhist Digital Resource Center
No.
the Buddhist Digital Resource Center Lana they have the largest digital archive of Tibetan literature
Mm.
you know so they are talking 50,000 volumes that they have digitized in which which relates to Tibetan literature
Mhm.
50,000 volumes ra
Mhm.
단 Buddhism 다르 요요라 다 Zen 요레 다 단다 요라다 바르마레 다르 요레 스리랑카레 다르 요레라 코리아레 다르 요레 자나레 다르 요레라 like nobody has this kind of collection
Mm.
디당아 라투드요 어딘데 인디잠바 so like even if we have a Sanskrit in English yore model yore
Mhm.
but still Sanskrit kaje pecha pe nyunyu chazar limited chazar
Mhm.
the pebadona you can find varieties of texts which discussing on one particular text
Mm. Got it.
odi
Got
into
it.
zamba like perspective yo mang boyra she ni ta khalor the comparative study che yor da ke
Mm. I
odi into
see.
zamba I don't think you can do that in Sanskrit
I see. Okay. That makes sense.
yeah and some one of I heard one people saying like one person saying like Tibetan has a lot of literature because they had long winter they don't have anything to do so they kept on writing.
There's no beaches.
Oh, they did like they
Uh,
buy me that but it might be a factor. Yeah.
yeah.
And then
Well,
Tibetan Buddhism kaji part kashi yo peni khurang pa dargyo ende yoryang.
Mm.
Tinso yang Sanskrit ka rai mara pena chashan na tanda chero tangdo ende damru ende tone.
Mm.
Kangba je ruba ende kin bu len tangda.
Mm.
Like it came from Tibet.
I see.
yeah.
It was yeah.
Kaldan, I know we covered a lot of topics. Is there any topics we may have missed that you want to share with listeners, or that you want listeners to hear that we may have missed that you want?
Mm, uh, okay. I think yeah.
I have
The
a
PGP
question.
yeah.
Yeah.
당보 딜라다 아니 젤랑한 last decision.
Hmm.
Uh, for this sort of project, there's a lot of different investments and a lot of different support from all these different, organizations and groups, right?
Mm-mm.
And one of them being Gandhi Podang Gyaro Rinpoche, right?
Mm.
When you guys presented to Gyaro Rinpoche right before Monlam Fest,
Yeah.
what did Gyaro Rinpoche say, and what has been the impact of Gyaro Rinpoche support?
Mm. Uh, ting azo dingin dela Podang la chardu tambada other yeah. So we presented Geshe la presented the model to His Holiness, and he was like, the I think I would say the exact thing because I was close by. Tappe ako dus ta muthi ni shuk jasha la ni ta song song anjola.
Mm.
Yeah, that was yeah very in color da bad group push logic lead da in the kundu in the sundu dambara so tamla yudu dambara and yeah then I think yeah nya di 겨울무치 찌부 맹경이 단다 셴파직 라나라
Mm.
맞아 단다 모델 디 삼드름 붙일래 찜비슈르 라
Mm.
The Samdram Chimbi what he said during the presentation, I was not there, but Geshe-la told me. So he was like, that this is really good, the dipe agudus. So like that 땡상기 뒤져라 땡상기 뒤져다 튠백이지 딱 락자지 낭발라 라술라 해줘라다. Tibetan Buddhism la rasulai jorada. Raya. Like ondi ladu tambanga ne ta khalor. Usually I see much very skeptic about technology and all those things, but uh, when he starts saying some sort of like that, I felt like okay, we are doing something,
Yeah.
because odinte do source rumbuche namji technology best skeptic to yara in that tharing le in the do jadi tamba, which is also true, like if we don't uh like move with technology, like we won't be relevant anymore, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
단다 경험시 끝난 게도 단다 두즈님도 무투님도 도토고레스 에너지도 끝난 게도 we have to be able to go with current times or not fall behind current times current development. Yeah.
Yeah. 맞아, intro video 되나 열. 디 rumbuche
Yeah.
디 야마야마 게실라이 폰 당보 찜비 슈지다 야. He said that thing.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
since our audience is youth, right? A lot of the youth in our audience is in America or Europe or Canada, and even youth
Okay.
in India, right? How do you see them using Monalm AI, and how can they use Monalm AI productively? Because Yeshila had a conversation with us during Machik weekend, and there's some skepticism, right? Healthy skepticism, like, okay, maybe students will get more lazy at learning Tibetan, right? Because they can just translate, when they do their homework, they can just translate it from English to Tibetan, like something like that, right? What are your thoughts on how young Tibetans can use this productively?
I've I've seen, like, if we look back in history, like our translator have translated Tibetan Buddhism, like Buddhism into Tibetan, and then they have translated, Tibetan medicine into, like they have translated, texts related to, the medicines that we now call Soa Rigpa, The nyama inde basic any kalorta philosophy complex dinde by nere any basic tang anzo chik menjo chia thangbo chigara mangshiro inere inde to translate chidu jamba nga ngaram ta phebala de khande to thongu dulana ra. I see this I see Tibetan as, if we gave something to Tibetan, they will turn it into something very useful, ra, which we have done with Buddhism. Our Lotsawa or our translator have translated Buddhism into Tibetan, and we have embraced it, and we have kept it, and we have studied it, and we have evolved it, and we have transformed it into multiple flavor, Right. Tangadu thanda sajang ma gilu shin flavor shis in the damerda if we are yeah. So earlier it used to be more, like it used to be 8, that's what we call dugyushingda ge, like flavor koro into mangbo sutuir like la didi do we have the potential, and I believe in that potential, because like if we are able to give machine translation to Tibetan community, I believe like we will continue the intake of knowledge from outside world and then transform it into something very useful. Nga odi yijepe yo nga pebalara tindu zambaya ta thanda inte do lanyi tinte li du kyang skeptic chikda odi la du zamba machine translation di two way ra ngazu engine di fuel gyurechibu mara da fuel ni engine gyurechibu ma inte mara choni jale yora engine ni fuel gyurna engine gi knowledge chilo knowledge manga yudu zamba ding anjol raira ding anjol rana ngazu chizo di evolve chaira ta ngazu la khalore ta chilo gi knowledge chigrana didi ngazu khachi thulana we can adapt it into our culture and make it something wonderful.
Right.
Yeah. Likewise, we can spread it. Like with Tibetan medicine is doing right now,
Right.
The Tibetan medicine can't lead. People are coming from Russia, Central Asia, Mongolia, and all those places. They are coming to study Tibetan medicine. Di kharlana nye kharsangulana nganzo lo yoyo di share chayadang zamling la yoyo di tsu le niyang chik nying jamo swayajora. I totally believe in this. That's why ta yine ta changma technology dang kar sawa gomba sawa gedu zamba tis ta yang le yin barada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that mindset.
Yeah. And again, dir da nga teaching laosams. Recently I've met some certain people saying this one because like people will become lazy and all those things. This is not a new thing at all because like even in US also and even in all the other countries which we call developed, they are also facing the same issue. They are facing the same issue with the chat GPT. People are doing their assignment using chat GPT and all those things. It's not a new thing, and it's happening to everyone. I see it like, so let's say your house is burning. Okay, your house is burning, but if someone comes to your house when your house is burning, and if someone comes to you and say, okay, after 50 years there will be a very huge flood due to global warming, okay, which is very obvious, and if he start to plan how to prevent the flood and all those things without letting off the fire which he is seeing, that's kind of stupid. So nga inde do tongudu me so tanda, our language is at this stage.
Right.
People
It's an
are
inflection point.
people are not subscribing to our language. So at that tinde thuzujigla, like we have to make it attractive and we have to make it usable and accessible to anyone so that it k- it it stays relevant. Right. Ngadu
Yeah.
tanda kangba mese di geche tonguda.
是
Kajan
Yeah.
global warming gikengira chulo lehem bata sure retara. Wati
Yeah.
nashi tanda delayora. Everybody's worried because people are going to get lazy. Di mi changma gisim diri. Raya. Ina ngadu tanda language di vet logara dan nedang.
You
So
talked
yeah.
about subscribing, right? Not people not subscribing. How many subscribers does Monalm AI have so far? What has been the response been good? Like as far as people logging in, creating accounts?
As of now, yeah, we are a little bit surprised because like we didn't expect in the that chai samas right the tanda login pe aku chidu. I don't have the exact number, but yeah, it was like beyond our expectation.
And can you see the demographic, like how many youths versus how many older people and stuff like that, or is that too difficult?
Okay. I'm not exactly sure because like we have a initial form where you need to fill your details.
Right.
I'm not sure whether we have that thing, but yeah,
Okay.
it's a good idea, but we will, yeah. Adu
Okay.
tai.
Does you have anything?
No.
Yeah.
가든 이렇게 숭에게 담아들라. 먼저 쉬운 게 다, 먼저
Ya tang nga ta odi samgudu nga khar samgudu lana like nga nyama nyama thela chik doing ra kare nga last odi lara ni nga jamsha she ra. I think it's relevant to many people. I think it will be relevant to many people because like nga nyama nyama college la yudu zamba, like I went to Dibung Lo Selling for a workshop or a conference or some sort like that. So it was regarding to Buddhism and science or some stuff like that. And then we had like a session after like the Nyamachi session the like evening. A few geisha used to take us to take us around the Dibung monasteries, and we used to have discussions on basic Kiawangachi yore mere lero dayo. Shina kachigri lero dayo. In the nyewa yore lero tuwa in the we used to ask that basic questions. At that time, one of the geisha told me something very interesting, changed which changed my perspective you know, a little bit. I think, yeah. So what he said is like, he was in the he went to Emory to study. There was a student exchange program between Dribong Losiling and Emory. He was into that thing, and he said that one of the one there was an applicant in Emory who's Tibetan, and he said that that guy has written in his personal statement that I want to study psychology in Emory because I am born in a Tibetan Buddhist family, and I have seen Buddhist psychology very intriguing, and I'm really excited to share. I'm really excited to study and compare the Tibetan Buddhist psychology and modern psychology, and come up with something. And he said like Emory le pupe mo apply chiguro ra, and so the Khorangi, like used that personal advantage to stand out. So nga tanda di nyingyu the handa Nawal Ravikant Lajore, he's a VC. Yeah, so what he says is like, if you see a bear in a circus doing juggling, rather juggling cheden, and the ball juggle do cheden hangsangra. And if he's on a cycle, you would the delay mga hangsangra. Tak unicycle ka tang na the delay mga hangsangra. Unicycle ka tang ju diyo. Thakpa chikal tang na the delay mga hangsangra. Ra. The khorang khalid lana, you need to find your unicycle and your rope lejo to ta nga odi thos khalana ta nga zo ji niche yore Tibetan language technology le yo niche re ta yo chinju ra da ka yo chinju in the sense yo ta common mara yine ta nga odi sam gu nga ra ji thakpa dang jigyora unicycle jora odi Tibetan language technology re sum khajina na nga pheba ji re nga phege singye re ani phege phyu to lo lobjun chene lenyo yore ra din du ba I see so 아주 배바든지 띠시기랑 아란초지 믹스기 배바 쉬운게줘라 단다 롭좀 치딩이줘라 어딘저 소소그지 깔제 배주 땅니 직여라다 탱상 창마 들도 멀티 디시플리너리 로직 라이도하다 라 소소그지 디 배주 땅나여라 녜 삼발라 디여리 삼고도 칼로르다 빼 가리네 렐라다 가리네 다 야가 용그레로 삼고도 가지나나 케라이네 얘기 케라라 적도직랑네 라나라 and the persona music khalelana ki ko personal lens ta le raya
Yeah.
can jog the personal pe lens ta le ra.
Yeah.
So if you do something which is personal to you, you end up committing more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Raya tang nga khalana nga Tibetan language technology kala lega chire khajina na nga Tibetan jindu da yang ye personal lens ya jo ta this chiga this lega in this shuk che ga ji motivation di lead do khajina na nga ngara 미래에다 어딘데 레다 this 소소가지 딜라 this 닦고 해야 되는줄라 this 디망아도
Yeah.
야 어디 따야 나 사완데다 계시에메다 나 담만던 두라니 어디디 소소소 삼로다 아니 나라 저 마시다 사완데다 켈라면도 야
먼저 그냥 싸워게 라요 말 미 창마 미 가든 그냥 나신 여라 닝조든지 두시라니 먼저 여라
exactly
그냥 yeah, that's what we do. We dispense it to our audience. Yeah. Yeah. Gaden,
yeah
thank you so much. You guys are doing great work. Please keep it up. Dashi and I and the rest of the Persia team are trying to do our part as well. So,
thank you
hopefully in the future we can have a conversation again.
sure
Thank you so much,
yeah
Gaden.
Thank you, Kaldan, and the whole Monalm team for building such an amazing product.
yeah 100%